Hey guys, welcome back to Exploratoria. As most of you probably know, I'm Eddie. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the Disney treasure. We just got off not too long ago. Okay, you see it, you see it, you see it. Maiden voyage, all right? So we got off a few weeks ago. And while I was on the ship, I actually put a feeler out to one of the Disney treasure groups that I'm in on Facebook. And I just wanted to know what kind of questions they had. And I did my best to answer all those questions. So I went all over the ship, just figuring out whatever they wanted answers to. And I did my best to answer those questions in that group. And I thought, why just leave that on Facebook? Why not give you guys those answers too? I'm sure a lot of you probably have the same type of questions about your upcoming trips on the Disney treasure, or if you're just thinking about booking one and just want to know, kind of what it's like on board. So I took all those questions, I wrote down a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to answer them here for you today. So let's get to it. So the first question I'm gonna go over is probably the question I got the most in that group, and that was, is there a long line for the Haunted Mansion parlor? And for us anyway, the answer was no. So we went on a sea day, I think it was like our second sea day on board, our third day on the actual ship. And we walked up and it was pretty easy for us to walk in and get 2 seats there at the bar. For me and Claudia when we went first. And then we actually ended up going back again later. Jordan was in the kids club. We ended up going back later, going to get her and bringing her back. And it was pretty easy to find seats, a couch for us to sit in then as well. So I would say, I think most people will probably go there the very first day, the very first sea day that they can, the very first day that it's available. And it'll probably be really packed in. But if you just wait a little bit, people will get over it and it'll be pretty easy to get in. We did notice that the longest lines there were during the photo opportunities that they have inside the Haunted Mansion. So there's certain times throughout the cruise, usually in the morning times, I think is what I've seen them, where people can go in there and you can actually get your photos taken inside with the Haunted Mansion background and stuff like that, like with the actual parlor in the background, which I thought was pretty cool. We didn't get the chance to do it because, like I said, the lines were always long. I heard one couple say that they were like in line for like an hour and a half just to get in there and take pictures. But all in all, it shouldn't be that hard to get in there and get yourself a drink. Another question I got is there a Pandora Charm available for the Disney treasure? And that's not something that we really do. We don't really collect the Pandora Charms, but I did go and I found out there are charms available. So if that's what you're into, if you like collecting those free charms, they are available on the ship. Another question people wanted to know is what kind of room gifts did we get? So what kind of gifts did we get, it being the maiden voyage and the inaugural season? And now I know a lot of people who are going, the maiden voyage is over, right? So you're not gonna get the same gifts, but a lot of the inaugural season cruises, I noticed, they're getting gifts as well. Their gifts are similar. I don't know if they get as many. And I noticed that some of them, like, instead of saying maiden voyage on them, they say inaugural season. So the gifts that we got were the very first day we came in, we actually had, I have one right here actually, the glasses, the maiden voyage glasses. I'm not sure if inaugural sailors are getting these or not. The inaugural one, I don't think so. But we got one of these for each of us in our room, was waiting for us when we got there. Another gift we got is our Castaway Club gifts that first day. And that was 3 cooler bags that we got. So we each got a cooler bag, and then we each also got the maiden voyage lanyard. We're only silver level Castaway Club. I believe the higher levels also got additional stuff. That was only our second Disney cruise. So we're still newbies. But we got that, and we also got beach towel bands that you put on your beach chairs to keep the towels from blowing away. We got those as well. And then later on, when we came back to the room after dinner, we had another gift waiting for us, and it was this journal and a magnifying glass that said Disney treasure on it. It was actually really high quality, really cool. And then every night after that, during the duration of the cruise, we got a new gift, not going in any particular order. We got coins, but they were pins. So pins that were shaped like a coin. We got an actual keel coin. We got a lithograph with Aladdin, Jasmine on the carpet and the treasure in the background. We got a soap and toiletry type set. And then we also got this cool leather treasure box. It's like a smaller box that you can keep jewelry and things inside of, kind of like a jewelry box. And with that came little chocolate coins. In addition to those gifts throughout the cruise, in 2 of the nights we also got some door magnets, for decorating your doors that you can color yourself. And we also got like another lithograph that was like a holiday one. And I'm pretty sure those two things, because the magnets were also kind of like holiday inspired. I'm pretty sure those two things were just because we were on like a holiday cruise. It wasn't technically a holiday cruise, but it was over Christmas. So I don't think those are going to be in the gifts for the inaugural season at all. But all in all, they were pretty awesome gifts. I was really impressed by the quality of them. I thought they were going to be a lot cheaper, but they were not. They were awesome. We really liked them. All right, another question I got about the Haunted Mansion parlor is, are kids allowed inside? And like I stated before, we brought Jordan in. Yes, kids are allowed in, I think, all the parlors until 9 p.m. So as long as you go during the day, they can go in there. There are a selection of non-alcoholic beverages for the kids to try, or anybody that doesn't want alcohol. And actually, the Haunted Mansion, in my opinion, has the best non-alcoholic beverage choices on the ship. Another question we got from a couple people were what shows were on board. Now, it's a 7-night sailing. You're not going to get musicals every single night, right? The very first night we were on board, it was Mufasa. Mufasa was the show. It was a premiere. It had just came out the day before, and that was the show we got that night. After dinner, we went and we watched Mufasa in the theater, in the Walt Disney Theater. The next night, there was a variety act. We actually didn't go see it. The night after that was Seize the Day. If you guys seen Seize the Day, it also plays on other ships. We also didn't go see that one. The fourth night was A Magician. The fifth night was a show called Two Guys and a Puppet. We actually didn't go see that one. I think we were tired or something that day, so we just decided to skip the show. It kind of sucks we did, because apparently it was a really great show. Everybody on the boat was raving about it. And Joey Fatone was actually on the ship and in that show. Joey Fatone, NSYNC, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. And then the last 2 nights, the shows were Beauty and the Beast, which is also on other ships. And then the brand new show that is only on the Treasure right now, and that is Disney's Tale of Moana, which I cannot say enough about. I loved it. Just the puppets were amazing. The talent was amazing. Great show, great show. Make sure you do not miss that one. Somebody also asked in that group, do they offer the Royal Tea Party on board the Treasure? They do not. At least for our sailing, they did not. They did still have the Royal Gathering. So we did get to go take all of our pictures with all the princesses on board, but there was no Royal Tea Party that you could pay for and go have tea and treats with all the princesses. Everybody was really interested in the lounges. Another question was, is there a wait list to get into the lounges? There is not. All of the lounges are on a first come, first served basis. There's no list you need to come on. You just need to go in and find a seat if you can. Somebody else wanted to know which princesses were on board the ship. On our sailing, at least, I'm not sure if it's going to be the same every sailing, but on our sailing, it was Moana, Jasmine, of course, Belle, Tiana, and Rapunzel. Those were the 5 princesses. We did the royal gathering, and those were the 5 princesses that we got to see. Again, everybody loves the lounges. The next question was, are there any good bartenders on board? And to be honest, they're all good. All right, so they're also friendly. I think my favorite, though, were probably at the Haunted Mansion Parlor and at Hey Hey Cafe. The bartenders there were just on a whole nother level of friendliness, and they were really attentive, and they made great drinks. The drinks they made were great. There was one bartender I will stay away from at the Skipper Society, but that's a whole story. Go check out my video on the best drinks on board the Disney Treasure, and I get into that story there. Somebody also wanted to know, and the Haunted Mansion is just super, everybody wants to go to Haunted Mansion. Somebody wanted to know, does the show loop? So is it certain times that the show is coming inside the Haunted Mansion, like the show goes on, or does it just keep continuously looping? And I don't know if it's a loop, but there is always something going on in the Haunted Mansion. You don't have to worry about getting there at a specific time to see stuff. There's always, I don't know if it's looping or random, but there's always something going on. Either the pictures coming to life, dancing and singing, or Madame Leota up there doing her thing. So you're always going to see something if you're inside the Haunted Mansion. You're always guaranteed to see something. Somebody wanted to know if quick service food locations are open during dinner. And the answer is yes. There is alternatives to the main dining room if you don't want to go there for dinner. I would, of course, check inside the Navigator app to make sure what times that is. I've seen a lot of them close at about 9, the quick service ones. But for the best, always check inside the Navigator app. But there are other options besides the main dining room that you can go to for dinner. And of course, room service is 24/7, and it's included with your fare. So if you want to make use of that, if that's something that you think you want to do, go ahead and do it. Hey, it's free. Just, of course, tip the cast member that brings you your stuff. A few people wanted to know if bathrobes were provided in the rooms, and the answer is no. At least on our sailing, there were no bathrobes inside the rooms. I've heard that on the Wish people, there's bathrobes that you can get. I'm not sure if this is something that they just didn't have for us, being the very first maiden voyage sailing, and they're coming out with later. But there were no bathrobes. Somebody wanted to know what apps do they need to download to be able to keep in touch with their family throughout the cruise. And there really is only one app you need for the whole cruise, and that is the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. Make sure you download that. That's where, all the information about what's going on in the ship is going to be. But also, there is a chat feature embedded in the app. So you have the option to turn it on. The people in your room are already in there, but you can also add people through anywhere throughout the ship. Everybody gets their own little ID number, and you can add them into that chat app and be able to chat with anybody on the ship. This is a completely free thing. There's no added charge to it. You don't even need to purchase an internet plan at all to be able to use it. Just as long as you're connected to the ship's Wi-Fi, it works just fine. Now, I did also hear that if you want to chat with people back home, back off the ship, WhatsApp, I believe, works without getting any internet package at all as well. So I haven't tried it myself. I don't use WhatsApp. I always get the internet package anyway, so I'm always just texting regularly with my iPhone through iMessage. But if you want to, I would give WhatsApp a try just to see if it works for you. Another good question somebody asked is, are there matinee times for the shows? And the answer is yes. Every night that there was a show, I noticed that there was also a 2 p.m. showing of that show that was going to go on later on, switching between the two dining times. So if you think you're going to be going to sleep early, your kids aren't going to make it that late, that 2 p.m. showing is available there. I didn't go to one, so I'm not sure how full they get compared to the evening shows, but I know they are available. Next question was, where's the best place to pick up Disney Treasure merch when on the ship? And there are a lot of different stores throughout the ship, but the biggest store is going to be Mickey's Mainsail on Deck 5. It was the biggest store and had the most treasure-like merch. Somebody else wanted to know, how were the lines at the buffet? The buffet lines themselves, really weren't that bad, except for on Mickey Churro Waffle Day. But other than that, it was really no problems with the lines. The lines, they moved really fast. Unlike other ships, you give them your plate, they put the food on, and they give you your plate back. You don't serve yourself really much of anything in the buffet. The one major problem with the buffet, in my opinion, was there was not enough seating. There was not enough seating inside the buffet. It was really hard to find a seats. Lots of people had to get their food and then go out on the pool deck and eat outside on there. So I guess that's one kind of downside I had to the buffet. Somebody wanted advice for first timers that are bringing their kids there that want to see characters. They want to know what's some advice for them. And my advice for you, if it's your first time going and your kids are really want to see characters, get autographs or whatever, just want to see a lot of characters, I would suggest as soon as it becomes available at midnight, you hop on there and you book the Royal Galley. That's going to get you to see the princesses there. At least you're booked there. You don't have to worry about seeing them. Other than that, if you see a time coming up when a character is going to be out somewhere on the deck, make sure you get in line early, at least 10 to 15 minutes early, because those lines, especially for some of the characters like Stitch lines are always long. Okay, and if a character is in a special attire, those lines are always long. So make sure that you get there about 10 to 15 minutes early. Another thing is, if your kids are okay going to the Oceaneers Club, let them go as much as possible. There are a lot of unique encounters with characters that they'll have that only happen inside the Oceaneers Club. So I know there's a lot of Star Wars characters in there. My daughter was super hyped because Olaf came in there. She got to give him a warm hug. So there are characters that go to the kids club that don't go anywhere else on the ship. So keep that in mind as well. And the next question is Plaza de Coco. Apparently some people thought that Plaza de Coco, or heard that Plaza de Coco was a little loud and ruckusy and wasn't a good show and not enjoyable. And from our opinion, we totally disagree with that. Okay, as a Mexican American family, we love Plaza de Coco. Okay, the food was delicious. We loved almost everything we got there was delicious. Check out the coconut tres leches cake off the chains. Okay, make sure you get that. But the food was great. The talent of everybody that was singing was awesome, and we loved singing along with the songs. Right? They really encourage you to do so, and so we did, and we had a great time. I think it's kind of up to everybody, though. Some people, if you don't like a lot of music and stuff while you're eating, you kind of want to be quiet. Maybe you won't like it, but to each their own, right? But for us, we love Plaza de Coco. It's probably our favorite main dining room on the ship. And that's about it. That's all the bigger questions that I got in the group. I think there were more, but I started like losing track after I was rapidly trying to answer them on the ship, and I started losing track. But that's all we got. If you guys have any more questions you want to know, just leave them down. Leave them down in the comments. I will try to get back to each and every one of you guys' comments with any answers that I can give you on the treasure. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notifications. Make sure your notifications are on, because we do have some more vlogs coming up from the treasure that are going to be coming out pretty soon. So make sure you're watching those too. They might answer more of your questions too. Who knows? Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you next time.